name's Mk2 crossbows. This is part of a re-edit I done of a video uploaded the other day. People said it was too long. This is part 2 of 2. Part 1 will be in the listings as well. It's on the Mk2 V2 Steambow Stinger with a metal magazine, 120 pound Magnum prod. And I hope you enjoy this little skit. Thanks and bye bye. The eagle-eyed amongst you, you've noticed that the magazine now lid stays open because it's now a spring-loaded lid. It's a really solid lock-up. There's a tiny little bit of rattle, but you can overcome this if you just use some double-sided felt tape. Where the lid sits on the back by here, just put a half a centimetre square on the back, so when she comes down and locks in, you can just lock that. Same as on your Picatinny rails, you can do the same with those. You can put a felt line on the back of it, so any vibration, it'll act as a damper and take vibration out and give you a much sweeter ride. Okay, so we look at it now. The speed loader clamp, let's flip her over. The speed loader clamp, she's ambidextrous. You can either fit her from the left or the right. And you see her there. It's a plastic button or nylon. Lovely little design. You just pop the spring out and you can flicker left or right hand side to your preference. So you're not tied up with just using the thumb on the one side for the magazine. This is great, I love it. So you can put your magazine in, which I'll show you now, and you can just hold it with one thumb. And if you don't need it, you can just release and take the magazine back out. If you're going to be using these bolts, this is my fishing bolts, but you're going to use a short version of these with this kind of fletching on the back, they will not work with a speed loader. As you pull out the stripper to release the bolts, you will not be able to physically pull them out. There is no give in these flights at all to allow you to pull the stripper out to load the magazine. These are specifically used for nose loading of your bow, same as the EKR9. Okay, next bolts we look at, these ones. They fit in the magazine and they fly okay. But these are, again, these are rubber vanes, very nice, but they're too stiff. So when you try to pull the stripper out, you can actually strip these off the vanes and damage them. So we're going to look now at, this is one of my bolts, one of my long range bolts. Doesn't fit in the magazine, but does fit in the stripper. These are nice, soft rubber fletchings, as you can see, much softer, much more give in the magazine. So when you pull the stripper, the wings or fletchings flex, allowing you to strip them off the vane. So we're going to look at that now, that process. So I'm going to bring the camera down now as we can have a better look. Everything's in place. You've got your magazine screw in the back. And you just simply open up your breech. Your speed loader then, take it with your finger, you put it straight back towards you. Don't put it at an angle. Nose down in. Locks in. Press your button. Now with your button pressed, you can pull your stripper straight up. Take your thumb off, so now you've got both hands free. Pull out your magazine and you're now ready to rock and roll with your 5 shots. It is a 6-shot magazine, but she only takes 5 in the speed loader, so you can always keep 1 in the breech ready to rock and roll, and 5 on standby should you need them. So bolts I'm using, my own bolts, my Badger bolts, 300 grain, lovely bolts, very nice soft fletchings, so they work really nice with the speed loader magazine, which is something a lot of these bolt makers will tell you. You do really need nice soft flights on your crossbow bolts to work with the stripper. If they're a solid bolt, again, I'll show you a solid flight like this. You will have to really rip the stripper off, whereas if you've got a nice soft flight, they'll work better. Some of the sharp-eyed amongst you might have noticed that the cocking arms are jet black. That's because these are the limited edition cocking arms off the limited edition Steambow Stinger S2. Steambow still have some of these available, and there was a special order for me, and I think it really makes it a little bit different from the rest. Why the orange grips? Because I'm doing a survival series at the moment, and I wanted them for one of these. I'll be putting this on my next order back over to tactical black. Okay, so this is just a temporary thing. Right, next we're going to look at the buffer tube. I'm using a mil spec buffer tube. I'm not using a standard buffer tube. The reason being, with the 120 pound bowline and the extra weight up front with the magazine, etc., I wanted more weight back to the back end. It's a slightly thicker tube, and an original AR buffer tube I believe works a lot better, which again brings it nicely to the stock. If I just pull out, you know, the Steambow, it is a genuine Steambow AR buffer tube. This is the buffer tube I use on a daily basis. I just get it in. This one here, double lock, quick cam release, raised cheek piece, because I prefer a higher stock. Get in the bugger, there you are. So when she's locked in, she's much longer in the shoulder, and for me more pointable in use. Okay, the next important thing, which I think is essential with buttstock, is being able to lock it. With your standard AR buttstock, you can't lock your shoulder stock. For example, once you've got the length you want and is locked in, you can then double lock it to make sure she doesn't move. Why double lock it? Well, quite simply, if you're moving through bush or jungle or anything like that, you can catch easily this kind of lever action stock adjuster quite easily. And when you're on target, you could snag it on your backpack or something like this, and you can lose your zero and lose the shot. There's something you don't want. So with the RISR system or riser, you've got a variable height and cheek comb. You can buy these in different sizes. You can see you've got the screw attachments here, so if you want to fit something underneath or around, you can do, and it doesn't affect your lock once it's in. It can't just be released once it's in place. Also in the stock as well, this clips, and you've got storage in here, so you can put your spare bowstring in the back, in the tube, which means you'll always have a spare string on you when you're out in the field, which makes it a lot more tactical mission ready. So at the moment I'm running the 120 limb, but it's not going to stay the 120 limb, because at the moment in this configuration, brand new and everything really tight fitting, it really does put an extra strain on the system when you're cocking. It does feel more like 130, 140 to me when you're cocking it. Bear in mind, if you see my previous videos, I've done experiments with twin limbs, etc., going up to 160, yeah, about 160 pounds in the Steambow, and I said about 120, 130 was a sweet spot, and I had it exactly where I liked it. And so yeah, so being a brand new system, it does feel heavier. So for running the system in, I will be switching over to at least this £90 Pro limb and see how she feels. If need be, I'll drop back to a £55 limb just to get the system working and free everything up nicely and lubricated and how I like it to operate. At the moment, can use it in this configuration, so it's you're on your shoulder, release, and you can see it's stiff. You can't just release and bring down to use. It's very stiff. So until she frees up a little bit, you couldn't use it shooting from the shoulder. You'd have to come down into your stomach or hip to cock it, to get the leverage on, to get past the friction, see? But again, that's because she's brand new out of the box. Can I see any other improvements for it? I think on the front Picatinny mount could be a slight notch on the front Picatinny mount to give better access to the laser on and off switch on both sides. It wouldn't have to be handed, you could just flip them over from one side to the other. I think the moulding for the grip needs to be slightly improving. See here now where I bring it right into the camera, or try to. It needs to be improved for a better on it. This is QC at the factory, not Steambow's doing. Is with their suppliers. Obviously, they need to check the fitment and operation a little more closely, I think. And I think for the front laser, this really needs to be a USB laser, either plugging from left or right to charge it, because it would save when the batteries die. I have to split the magazine, and that's what you have to do, because we got the button for the magazine, but there it won't just pull through. You have to quite literally take the mounts off, undo the front, split the magazine to take the laser out, change your batteries, put it back in for it to work. And again, you lose your zero when you do that. So I recommend when you take your laser sight out, touch up paint on the side with your white paint, just a touch, at 3 o'clock and 12 o'clock, or underneath the barrel. Don't have to be white, could be red, any colour you fancy really, or even a slight scratch. So when you put it back in, it lines up perfectly every time, and it saves you on too much time having to re-zero your sight every time. So that's the three things I could see on the new Steambow S2 Mark II that needs improving. A slightly better moulding for the design of your upgrade grips. It should be identical to the supply grips from the factory when you buy a Steambow Stinger. For some reason it's not. Why? I couldn't tell you. I just wasn't prepared to send it back and wait a fortnight to get a replacement set. So I just pushed ahead with it. So that's my first recommendation for an upgrade, is better design moulding of the grip. Second design thing which I think needs doing is a notch in the side of the Picatinny rail to give you better access to your on off button. And the third, like I said, with the laser, USB. Apart from that, the system is great. The sights are great, the operating is great, how the magazine system works is absolutely smack on. I do love the improved pivot for the stock. The QR system, that's improved, so you no longer now need two different QS systems for your bowling. They will all work off the one if you buy the new magazine. Finish, fantastic, second to none. I absolutely love it. Depending where you are in Europe or America, if you're in the UK, it's roughly £400 for the magazine. £300 for your Steambow, so that's 400, 500, 700 quid. Time you buy your AR stock tube, Military spec stock tube, upgraded buffer, your laser sight for the front, and your QR magazine. You run about £850. It's a serious piece of kit. If you're really serious about bug out, home defence, shit it's the fan, this is the crossbow for you. The sister crossbow, I say sister because the company which supplies me, Mk2, this is the crossbows I supply, and the build quality and the effort they put in is much better than this, although it's a sister crossbow. It comes off the same Polang factory in Taiwan stroke Hong Kong People's Republic of China, blah blah blah. But for me, as they say, once you go black there's no turning back, and I'm going black all the way. This is absolutely banging. I love it. Like I said, apart from a few modifications which we'll probably see in the Series 3, we'll see what comes out with it. But coming in January, I got something new for you, and I already know it's coming, and it's the new overshot magazine loading system, and we've got one already ordered for January. So it'll replace the alloy mag with a quick release mag as well. But I'm not going to break up this. I love it. I'm absolutely in love with it. She's stunning. I'm now using it on another Steambow chassis, probably the survival chassis which I'm building at the moment. Thanks for watching. Take care. I love you guys loads, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks and bye bye. Okay, so here we are. You're out and about. You release your lid on your magazine. Bop. You're now holding your stock. Pull out and drop your fucking bolts everywhere.